In Myanmar, land is the lifeblood of the nation. Most of the population lives in rural areas. And about 70% of the labour force makes a living from agriculture. Which means the land grabs carried out by the army since the 1990s continue to affect people's lives. Farmers and small landholders receive little or no compensation. Land grabs were an issue the National League for Democracy campaigned on in the historic 2015 election, which brought an end to military-led rule. In 2016, a government committee estimated as much as 2 million acres could be considered confiscated. That committee had an ambitious plan to resolve all land grab cases in 6 months. But Human Rights Watch says farmers in areas like Shan State and the Irrawaddy and Yangon are still waiting for their land to be returned. Mama U says about 12 acres of her family's land was seized.
I have submitted complaints to the government so many times.
It's like our hands were broken because we depend on these lands. We don't want anything beyond what the law says. We're just demanding our land back.
Returning land and providing compensation is a complex issue. Some plots have been sold off to multiple buyers, creating a tangled web of ownership. Sometimes the new owners are foreign developers, and the military has also held on to confiscated land for its own use. They are powerful forces for farmers to come up against in their battle for land rights. But they had hoped the government would be on their side and would act faster to deliver restitution. When Aung San Suu Kyi's NLD swept into office in 2015, the euphoria was evident. Burmese had high hopes for the first civilian-led government in more than 50 years. But the challenges of reforming a nation and its institutions after military rule were always going to be significant. The army, known as the Tatmadaw, still wields considerable power and influence. It holds 25% of the seats in the parliament. While the international community has focused on the humanitarian crisis facing the Rohingya in Rakhine State, Suu Kyi's #1 priority has been to achieve peace. The country has endured conflict between the Tatmadaw and ethnic groups seeking greater autonomy since Myanmar gained independence in 1948. In recent months, there has been renewed fighting in the northeast Shan and Kachin states. 19 people, mostly civilians, were killed in a series of clashes at security posts in Shan State in May. Suu Kyi has been leading the process to secure a nationwide ceasefire. Here she is earlier this month at the third peace summit since 2016. It is a delicate process.
Bold steps must be taken without delay in implementing the peace process. If the peace process takes longer than is necessary, there will be instigation, interference and manipulation, all of which will undermine the hard-built trust and hard-earned agreement.
Some rebel groups don't want to deal with the army, but the government can't broker a ceasefire without the army being involved. It is a clear example of the balancing act Suu Kyi's government has to perform with the military in order to run the country. Natalie Poyhonen, The Newsmakers.